And all of that is done in an effort to be as efficient as possible. The care team is also working on a greeting card mailing campaign just to touch all of our members with some sort of card, whether it's a thank you or we're praying for you, but just wanting to touch all of the members associated with St. James. Next slide, please. What is being worked on is a new way of arranging our care leaders. So every congregational care leader is assigned what's called a flock or a group of people that they check in on. If someone's in the hospital, that care leader is a part of the team to care for that person. And so there's a new system that's being worked on. It should, by the next State of the Church, we'll be able to share more information about it, but it may be in the area of geography. Right now, the care leadership is divided based on alphabets, but I think it's going to move over to geography, depending on where people live. We talked about the greeting card system that will go out, and community care events. So when St. James has community events like Hydration Nation or any type of event where we're inviting the community, our care leaders are there to pray for people who are a part of the community, whether they're members of the church or not, does not matter. We're there to pray for the community. So those are some things that the care ministry is working on. Before I move to the next area, I want to do questions by question. So any thoughts, questions about this? And we have our care leader here. If you have any questions, yay, nay. All right, we'll move to the next slide. Community connections, and this deals with reaching beyond the membership of St. James, where the care ministry focuses primarily on people who are a part of the St. James community. Community connection is reaching out beyond the membership. That's outreach. And so what has been happening, the greater Kansas City area has a Hydration Nation and a Winter Ready Gear program that St. James participated in. 500 households we were able to hydrate. And this means providing bags with water, hydration kits, haircuts, winter clothes, and so on. And so St. James has been participating in that and had a great impact. The neighborhoods, New Loads of Love, which we located now on Prospect instead of across the street where it was, and 320 loads each month, which means we are washing people's clothes that may not be able to afford it themselves. St. James, in partnership with other congregations, is doing that. We're also partnering with 2 schools serving 800 plus families and over 100 teachers. So we are connecting with community, doing partnerships, and these are some of the areas where we're doing it. Next slide, please. And so things that are coming up, a community baby shower. Not everyone has the means or the resources to buy everything they might need for a new child. And so St. James is a part of providing those things with the community baby shower. And also during the summer, a free store where people can come and get items, clothes, shoes, whatever they might need. And then later this year in August, we're going to partner with Literacy KC Adult to educate the community, those who may be in need of some sort of literacy training. So that is community connections. Any questions?
Dr. Cleaver, the date is wrong for the free store. It's June 13th.
June 13th is the free store. June 13th is when the free store is. Okay. There are no other questions or comments. We'll go to the next slide. Discipleship. So the discipleship, the area of ministry, created SMART goals to look at how we bring on new disciples. New disciples, people who join St. James. So over the last several weeks, we've had people join this faith community. And so we have worked on a new way of introducing them or bringing them into this community we call St. James. And the Disciples for Change, which is a ministry that came out of a sermon a few years ago. But the Disciples of Change, they have provided 250 meals for unhoused families since October of last year. And they've also partnered with Purcell High School to grow and just work with those schools, because that's always needed. Churches and schools partnering together to make sure that families and teachers are being provided for, taken care of, and supported. Next slide, please. Some things that are in progress in the area of discipleship, working on long-term housing support, partnering with Community Link. Kansas City, just like every other urban area in the United States, has a problem with housing. We have homeless people all over the city. And so our Disciples of Change, that is something that they are addressing and working on in partnership with Community Link. Also, March 29th, the Nominations and Leadership Development Team has a pop-up explaining about what's happening with the leadership here at St. James. And this will follow worship. It's for individuals who have joined within the last 5 years. And it's designed to connect our new members, celebrate our new members, support our new members, but just make sure you are plugged into what's happening at St. James. June of this year, we have Vacation Liberation School, or Liberation Bible School, where it will focus on the traditions and cultures in West Africa. This is going to be a very exciting Liberation Bible School because we're going to the motherland. And so it's for young people, adults, come out and learn about your heritage as it relates to also what we see in Scripture. Any questions or comments about anything we've discussed so far? All right, next slide. Membership. We've already talked about the new disciple orientation. We're really working, when people join, we really want to get them plugged in. So it's in partnership with several ministry areas to make sure that we are truly helping people stay connected. They talk about when a new person joins a church, you usually have 6 weeks before they exit the back door. 6 weeks. People join, every single church in the United States will boast, we have 500 members, but on Sunday they'll have 200 or 100 because people join and exit the back. What we're doing with our new disciple orientation is to make sure we close that back door and get people plugged in. We've also updated our bereavement manual to make sure that our policies and procedures are in place when a member is dealing with loss. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do. We step into action. And we have selected a confirmation curriculum. So in the Methodist tradition, as well as in other traditions, when an infant or a child who is unable to speak for themselves is baptized, when they come of age, they go through a learning process called confirmation, where they learn about Christianity, they learn about Methodism, they learn about the church. I would imagine that those kids who have gone through confirmation know more than most of you all. Yeah, I said it. Because they're learning quite a bit in that confirmation class. Next slide. Here are our congregational care leaders. And right now it is organized based on alphabet, but this is those who serve in that area of ministry. Next slide, please. All right. What is in progress in the area of membership? Identifying lay members to take communion to our homebound members. We've had 3 new people volunteer, and so it's a matter of getting them trained. We want to make sure that those who want to receive communion, but for whatever reason are unable to make it into this building and prefer to have communion in a traditional sense as opposed to just getting crackers and juice. We want to make sure that they're able to get those communion cups. And we've talked about restructuring the care leaders to reassign to make sure that every member in the congregation is connected with a care leader. Questions or comments before we move on? All right, let's go to the next slide. Next generation, so we're talking about those who are under 18 and under when we talk about next gen. So we have 16 new volunteers, recruits, who have gone through the safe gatherings to work with children and vulnerable adults in the United Methodist Church. You have to go through something called safe gatherings. It is a way to protect young people. And so we've had people go through that. We've had 6 new youth and adult people to join the leadership board. And on Resurrection Sunday, coming up real soon, we have 7 kids who will be confirmed, which means they will become full members of St. James Church. That happens on Resurrection Sunday. They're going through training. They're actually, the training for confirmation, visiting other faith traditions. So I think they're going to visit a synagogue, a mosque. Are they going to a mosque as well? I'm looking for, no, just the synagogue. Okay. Is that a Catholic church? What'd you say? Oh, Church of God in Christ. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said something else, like Christ the King. All right, so they also get to experience what other faith traditions and traditions within Christianity, how they worship and some of the things that they believe. Next slide. The generation to generation, that is the ministry where we have up to 18 and older than 65 and older. So we're putting baby boomers in with Gen Z and Alpha generation to learn from one another, grow with one another, teach one another. And so we have something planned this spring for that ministry. And then in the summer, a first aid and training event. And then, of course, we're moving closer to our scholarship time, the Mr. Bill Scholarship, where St. James gives scholarships to youth who have been active and youth who are just a part of the St. James Church family. All right, comments or questions before we move to the next slide? All right, let us go to the next slide. Operations. We have upgraded the parking lot and added lighting, LED lighting for efficiency. Next slide. What is in progress? Installing a security camera system outside and inside just for the safety of the congregation. Also putting together a comprehensive maintenance and repair list for this building so that we know exactly what needs to be done, when it needs to be done. And on March 29th, Super Adult Sunday School, we will have a safety presentation. So we want to invite everyone back to come and stay after worship on the 29th to talk about safety and learn what we are doing to make sure everyone is safe. Comments or questions? Yes.
Use the microphone, please.
He's saying what we're going to learn about church finance. Yes, I'm going to do that at the end because we're going to stop the streaming when we do that. But yes, we will cover the church finances. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Dr. Cleaver, can we ask that everyone use the mic because the people online cannot hear the questions?
Okay. We will make sure. Any others? Repeat the question, please. Yes, thank you. We'll make sure that all that stuff is noted. I'm sure we'll do everything that we can. Any other questions, comments? All right, next slide. Worship highlights. So we have done a lot to make sure we are enhancing the worship experience, such as a walkthrough with our worship rehearsal. Every Sunday, 8 a.m., we go through to make sure that everybody knows who, when, where, what. We plan out and talk about what worship looks like every week on Tuesdays, and just to make sure that worship runs smoothly. We've updated the e-news, as you have seen, to make sure that we are providing information, all that's happening at St. James. We have reintroduced Black History segments during the pre-worship time. Of course, sometimes Facebook shuts us off. And we have included the children's choir in First Sunday. Since First Sunday is such a high Sunday with communion, the children are now also a part of that worship experience. Next slide. Continuing to work on worship, ushers are collaborating to put together a cry room. So a crying child, you're able to step out and move into an area and perhaps still hear and see the sermon, but outside of the sanctuary, so others' time of worship is not being interfered with. Also looking for volunteers to help with every area of ministry, the AV team, the choir, the praise and worship, ushers. There are plenty of places for you to jump in. Comments or questions before we move to the next area? Yes, let's see. Yeah, to build the youth choir. I don't know, worship, you want to answer that? I've not heard about the youth ushers or anything, but we are building the children's music department.
Yeah, we're continuing to recruit, and we are working on all parts of the music department, and the children and youth are a part of that, yes.
All right, any other questions? No, okay, next slide. Our leadership board, and I'm going to ask our leadership board if you'll just stand just so people can see you. This is the group that governs policies and procedures for St. James. And so this is our leadership for 2026. Do you want to? I'll ask, does anyone have a question for our leadership board? I'm sure there might be a question like, what's going on with our South property? Anyone want to give a microphone to someone in our leadership board to answer what's going on with our South property? Can you grab that? Over here. Yes.
We do have that property listed with Nation. We did have an offer last fall. That offer did fall apart. It was a real estate offer. They were looking to put some affordable housing there. But that did fall through. It is currently listed. We are under contract with agent for the next 12 months. We have it on the market at $240,000. So we think that's a fair market value. Our real estate agent thinks that's a fair market value. So we're comfortable with that. And we'll keep you posted. And as you heard, we'd like to go ahead and move on the priorities.
I also heard someone ask about 40 acres.
If not, I can address that. We do have 40 acres more. We need that last summer. We are trying to grow that board because there's a lot of work that needs to be done with that 40 acres board. For those that don't know, that board is kind of responsible for the oversight of our EC2 property that is a joint venture between Dalmark and St. James Church. So we are looking to add to that board to create oversight. We have something coming down the pipe. It's very important that the church stays on top of. I think we're 7.5 years out. In 7.5 years, there'll be a decision that has to be made whether we want to continue the relationship with Dalmark or we want to move in a different direction. So it's very important for that board to stay close to that so that we can make an informed decision at that time.
Just
Does that answer your question?
the question, I think you answered.
I have a follow-up. Okay. When you say move in another direction, what are those other direction options?
Well, can I just say for those who may not know, we have a senior living facility out there. That is what the partnership between St. James and Dalmark is. We still have 30-something other acres where we have not done anything, but the partnership is simply the senior living facility.
Thank you. And so the next steps moving forward would be either we would stay in a relationship with Dalmark and they would provide the management of that facility of the EC2 campus and those properties, or we would either decide to manage that property ourselves and be in full ownership of the property with just St. James. So currently, that's not necessarily a skill set that we have. That's why we are partnering with Dalmark to do that. And just to speak to the other 30-some acres that are in 40 acres property, we have been working with EPA. Last fall, they did complete an assessment. We did receive a grant. Right now, we're in the runnings for a community grant. With that community grant, it's upwards to $25 million. If we were to receive that grant, then we could improve the properties. So that's another function that we're looking for that 40 acres board to provide for us is what are the next steps to do with that properties, how that would look. We do have some ideas and have been presented to the leadership board. One of those being to add a vocational technical school there. several members that had talked about doing something with the property in regards to gardening on a larger scale. So we have talked about those things, but we really haven't tied down anything other than working with EPA to try to get the properties cleaned up. So, did that answer your questions?
They weren't my questions. I just heard other people saying it.
All right.
No, I think we're good. All right. If there are no other questions, we'll go to the next slide. Oh, we do have a question. Yes. Can you step to the mic here?
I was wondering, were there any,
It's on.
I was wondering, were there any homeless camps out there on those 37 acres? There's camps everywhere.
Yeah,
So I was wondering if some camps are in there.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Are there ongoing camps and people there 100% of the time? No, because part of one of the functions that we do is we go out and regularly look at the properties, and we have run people off the properties. That is a problem. The problem is posted. The buildings are secured out there, and they stay secured for sometimes 2 to 3 weeks, and then they've been compromised again. But we have ran people off from staying out there, having fires out there, and dumping out there. So it is a problem, just like it is anywhere else in the city.
All right. Any other questions before we move on? All right, let us go to the next slide. I was debating if I should do this before the financial. So for the thing I want to share is St. James, just like every other church in America, is going to have to start looking for other means of income other than the offering plate. If you look at all the statistics, churches will not survive off offering anymore. It's just the way of the world. Giving USA reported that from 1983 to 2023, giving to religious organizations dropped by 39% and is continuing to drop. Baby boomers give more than any other group. That's not a surprise. According to Horizon Stewardship, 74% of church giving comes from baby boomers. I want you to think about that. 74%, which means as baby boomers move on to the great beyond, churches will not be able to survive. And I know I hear some of you saying, well, just teach about giving more. Never in the history of church has everyone tithed. So let's just put that out there. Let's just be real. And we're in an era where people are struggling. Some preachers might say, well, if you give, then God will bless you so you can pay all your bills. But some people think, I have it in my hand right now. God has already blessed me. So why would I give it away when God has already blessed me to pay my bills? We just have to think realistically. St. James will, and every other church, will not survive without offering, if we rely on offering alone. So we are looking at other streams of income. It is the only way I believe that churches will survive in the future, as fewer and fewer people are going to church and fewer people give to church, and even the people who give to church are giving less than what they gave years ago. So that's my report, looking at other ways to bring in income. And it may mean that we have to reimagine what it means to be a church. It means that we might have to really look at what is the true purpose, or how can this building best be used to serve. So all of these things are being talked about, praying about it. I believe we have to act on it soon. There are many churches that have already moved into this area, but we do have to look at how we bring in income outside of just asking people to give. That's my report. Any questions or comments? Yes.
So, Pastor, what does that do to our tax status when we start taking income from other sources? Are we still a nonprofit?
Yeah. So what I would like to see happen, my preference is in America, you can go to any church. You can go to a mega church. You can go to a small church. You can go to a medium-sized church. It does not matter. Most buildings are only used 3 hours a week. We're being bad stewards. I mean, this space is only used to capacity 2 to 3 hours a week. That's every church. I've been to mega churches during the week. On Sunday, they're packed. During the week, they're empty. So I believe renting out space to nonprofits who are doing the kind of work that line up with our vision and our mission, so that these rooms, these spaces are being occupied and used for something good all throughout the week. So I think if we're leasing we've done this before on a smaller scale, like we have the upper room that comes, a kids program in the summer, and they'll give a few dollars for using our upstairs space. I don't think it changes our tax status, but I'm not an expert. But either way, the church can't survive without it. It's not going to happen. I'm just here to be honest with you all. Yes. Your question?
So, Pastor, giving your thought on that, is there a strategy? Is there a timeline? Or you'll come back in 6 months and say, the church is thinking about X, Y, and Z here, or here's the course of action. We'll come back in a year. Just like to understand the structure, thinking, timeline for how this may evolve. Thank you.
So at the next state of the church, I can better have a timeline. We're at the beginning stages of talking about what that looks like. So don't have a schedule yet, but we'll work on that so that the next state of the church, you'll have more information. We are in the beginning stages, though. Question?
Pastor, given that your financial report included that baby boomers are like almost 75% of your giving, I'd like to know how our hospital, nursing home, and extended care ministry is working. Is there a lot of visitation going on to make sure that we're on top of that group?
So asking how does the hospital visits and care work?
Care, how is our ministry working? Is that active?
Yes, it is active. So if we get a call, and that's the key, we're not mind readers. Sometimes people assume that we know someone's in the hospital, but we don't always know. So if we know, then yes, a care team member and a pastor are usually sent to visit or will visit that person and walk with them. We have our care leaders connected with people who are in long-term or homebound, so that we do have that ministry up and going.
And do we keep an active reporting cycle?
Do we report in terms of like?
Do we keep an active report on those folks that are in the extended?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
But we're always trying to improve. So if you see or believe there's something we could do, we could be doing better, I think we're always open for that. But yes, the answer to your questions are yes. Another question?
In terms of getting money coming into the church, has it ever been considered reopening rather, a preschool like they had years ago, and possibly a community center for seniors?
We've not talked about a daycare recently, but in my time here, yes, we have talked about a daycare. We are not in compliance with the state. There are several things that we would have to do to restructure our building in order to have, our building meet the standards for the state. But I don't think it's completely off the table. I mean, that's something that should be considered. Any others? Yes.
Pastor, on what this gentleman just said about the sick, is there any way we can put, when people are sick or in the hospital or people that are passed away, put them up there? Because a lot of us don't know if it's, on Sundays, if it's up. I went to a church and they did that. Who was sick, who passed away? Just that information would help us. Just information, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've asked, and people said they did not want their name up there.
Yes, we addressed that. We called the members and spoke with the members, and some of our members, a strong amount, have asked or said that they do not want their information publicized in that manner. And so out of respect for our sick and shut-in, Pastor Elmer Cunningham, he has the prayer list, but we do not put it on so that it goes across the airwaves. We do have it at the Welcome Center. Pastor Elmer has a sick and shut-in list that he sends out, but we do not publicize it in a greater manner at the request of those who are on the prayer list.
All right, any other questions before we, okay, yes.
Good morning. I just wanted to emphasize as a grant writer that when an entity has a 501c3 foundation, because someone asked the question earlier, what would happen to the church's tax status, for example? Say, for example, working with Literacy Kansas City, working with other entities that might pay the church some funding or renting out space, when those funds are funneled, in many cases, through a foundation, not for profit, tax status changes altogether. In many cases, there are no other taxes. I belong to another organization where we are an organization, but we also opened up a foundation and dramatically changed our tax status. So I just wanted to point that out, that a foundation might be the answer.
All right, thank you, appreciate that. Any others before we move to the financial picture? All right, we need to stop our streaming. Is there another question? Oh, Holy Week announcements. We have Good Friday on, what date is that? Friday? April 3rd, 6:30 here at 55th and Paseo. Do we have what's happening on Saturday? Anything? So Good Friday is our Holy Week activity in partnership with St. Andrew and Centennial. And then Resurrection Sunday, 9 a.m.
Pastor, there are people online that are asking about the new executive director before we go offline.
Oh, okay. So yes, we hired a new executive director. She's here with us, Dr. Janine Short. You could just stand and let people see you. And After this, which we're almost done, we're going to have a reception out in the worship center / ministry mall where you can greet her and talk with our leadership board members about any questions that you may have but did not ask during this time. So following the benediction, join us in the worship center.
I'm sorry, Doctor. Can Dr. Jeanette stand up a little
Janine,
longer, please?
Janine,
thank
you stand real quick.
There you go.
Turn the other way. Turn this way. All right. Thank you. All right. I guess we will move to the financial picture. We're going to stop the stream. The whole world doesn't need to know about our finances. For those online, if you would like a picture, you could come by the church office and get a look at what the finances are like. I also will let you all know anyone who is a member of St. James, you are welcome to any and every